taking a break from the road with this week's edition of Inside Athletics, brought to you by the IAAF. We're at headquarters for episode 17. And this week we're talking about the two most prodigious sprint nations on planet Earth, Jamaica and the United States. But more specifically, who will comprise their teams which are headed to this summer's World Championships in Athletics, getting ready to be held in Moscow, Russia. So let's start with the men's and women's 100-meter dash. Jamaica, of course, have the world champion dating back from 2011, Johan Blake. So I don't expect to see him running at their national championships, at least not at 100 meters. So that leaves Usain Bolt. I think will win very comfortably down at the National Stadium in Kingston. In second place, I like Nesta Carter in that spot. He has run pretty well in 2013. He's made teams before. And then Warren Weir, who was the bronze medalist when Jamaica swept the Olympics 200-meter dash last year. I think he is finally going to step up and make his first Jamaican 100-meter team. Now, for the USA, Tyson Gay is a very comfortable pick for me in first place. He's undefeated this year, and I think is beyond and past a lot of the problems that he has had in terms of injuries in the past couple years. He's already talking about going to the World Championships and getting 3 medals like he did way back in 2007. So Tyson Gay in first. I think Justin Gatlin is my pick for second. He's a solid second pick. And then in third, I like Walter Dix. He hasn't run that many hundreds this year, but that's a young man that does very well with rounds. And I think I saw enough of his fitness when he ran a pretty good 200-meter dash at the Eugene, Oregon Prefontaine Classic. Moving over to the women for the USA, they have the world champion from 2011 in Carmelita Jeter. She's been having a lot of injury issues, so luckily she gets to just plan for the World Championships and not have to worry about trials. I don't know if we'll even see her at the US Championships. I think I like English Gardner, who's the NCAA champion. I think I like her to win. In second place, I have Barbara Pierre. She's been running very, very well. I think this is a chance for her to make her very first team. And in third, I have Octavius Freeman from the University of Central Florida. That's my pick for the U.S. women. For the Jamaican women, well, Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, the Olympic champion ×2 now. She's undefeated as well at 100 and 200 this season. I actually like, in second place, this is a name that you may not be entirely familiar with, Carrie Russell. I like her for second for that Jamaican team. And then a name that you should be familiar with, Karan Stewart, who has made teams and won silver medals in the Olympic Games before. I have her in third place. So those are my teams, men and women, Jamaica and the USA. Now let's move to the men and women, Jamaica and USA 200-meter dash. Tyson Gay says he wants 3 medals in Moscow. That means he has to run the 200 meters to qualify. So I have him winning very comfortably at the US Nationals. In second place, I have Walter Dix, who, as I said, looked pretty good at the Prefontaine Classic. I think he will be looking to make the team and improve his fitness to improve his medal chances at the World Championships. In third place, I have Wallace Spearman. I just never can pick 3 people to beat Wallace Spearman where rounds are involved. He seems to always be capable of making United States teams. So over to Jamaica, they have the world champion from 2011 in Usain Bolt. That means that Johan Blake, the second fastest man of all time in that event, will have to run the 200 if he wants to run that event at the World Championship. I have him winning comfortably. In second place, I have Nico Ashmead, who has been running very, very well. He's the training partner of Tyson Gay out there in Claremont, Florida under Lance Browman. And in third, the Olympic bronze medalist, Warren Weir. So now over to the women. Let's start with the U.S. For the first time in a long time, Allison Felix is not the reigning 200-meter world champion, so she has to qualify if she wants to be in Moscow. I have her winning very comfortably, but maybe not as comfortably as we think, because Kimberlyn Duncan, the NCAA champion, has run right at the times that Allison Felix has run this year. Now, you remember I said Octavius Freeman in the 100. I also have Octavius Freeman in the 200 as well. So 2 collegians who did very well at the NCAA championships, I have making the U.S. women's 200-meter team. Now over to Jamaica. First place, Shelly Ann Fraser-Price. She has found a way to not only improve her 100, but the Olympic silver medalist, I think, will win the Jamaican National Championships at 200 meters as well. Anisha McLaughlin, I think, is a good bet for second place. I have her in second place at the Jamaican Championships. And then in third, somebody who's made a lot of teams before and who I have on that 100-meter team, Karan Stewart. So now that we're done with the 200, let's move over to the men's and women's for Jamaica and USA 400-meter dash. My picks for the US 400-meter team are identical to the team that went to London last year for the United States for the Olympic Games. In first place, I have the 2009 world champion, LaShawn Merritt. In second place, the young man that was shot a while back and seems to have made a complete recovery. He's been the Pac-12 champion this year as well as the NCAA champion, Bryshawn Nellam of USC. And in third place, he was second at the US Olympic trials last year, Tony McQuay. On the Jamaican side, now the Jamaicans, I have no idea why they continue to underperform. You cannot find a Jamaican in any of the world list until you get to number 22 this year. I have Riker Hilton winning, I have Javon Francis in second, and Dane Hyatt getting third. The Jamaicans will be very hard pressed to not only get a medal, but to even make the finals in Moscow. It's one of the great mysteries to me why the Jamaican men don't seem to run better. Now, over to the US women. Francina McCrory, I think this is finally the year that she breaks 50. She made the Olympic final in London last year. Then I have Ashley Spencer. She's the NCAA champion this year and has been running very, very well. 50.28. That's something to be reckoned with. And then Natasha Hastings, who made the team in 2007, but has not run that well in 6 years. She is back, and I expect her to make the team. That, of course, means that Sonia Richards-Ross, who a lot of people are expecting a lot from, she's the reigning Olympic champion. I think because of how well the U.S. women are running, she will find herself on the outside looking in, and unfortunately will not make that U.S. women's team. In terms of the Jamaican women, Stephanie McPherson, I think, might be the most improved quarter miler on the women's side in the world. Novaline Williams-Mills, she's been there before. She got bronze in 2007. And then Patricia Hall rounds out my Jamaican 400-meter team. So now let's go to the hurdles, and we'll start with the men's 110 hurdles. The U.S. has the reigning 110-meter hurdles champion, so it means that the U.S. will take 4 to Moscow. I expect the reigning world champion Jason Richardson to win. I have David Oliver in second, Antoine Hicks in third, and then the new world record holder and the reigning Olympic champion Aries Merritt, who has convinced me that he will be back from his injury in time to qualify for this team. I have him just making this team and getting 4th across the line, but more importantly, qualifying for that U.S. team headed to Moscow, Russia. Now, the hurdles is not an event that Jamaica previously had a lot of success in, but that all changed in London when they got their first Olympic medal. So Hansel Parchment, who continues to set national records, he's the world's fastest man this year at 110 hurdles at 13.05. I have him winning their trials, Andrew Riley in a solid second, and then Dwight Thomas in third. So now let's shift focus to the women's 100-meter hurdles. That's the event that I am most looking forward to, I think, at the U.S. National Championships. The United States has found a new star in Brianna Rollins of Clemson University. She just broke the collegiate record at the NCAA Championships. And when I tell you she's a star, she ran 12.39 to set a new collegiate record. To give you a sense of how fast that is, it would have gotten bronze at the London Olympics last year. I think you can do a lot worse than to bet on her to be the next American record holder, if not the next world record holder. She is young, very talented, and when you see her, you will know what I mean. Now, Dawn Harper has a bye into the World Championships because she was the Diamond League champion. So I don't know if she's going to have some gamesmanship between her and Brianna Rollins. She and her coach, Bobby Kersey, are peaking for the World Championships. I don't think she's ready yet to take on and beat Brianna Rollins, who is 2 weeks away from that 12.39 that she just ran at the NCAA Championships. In fact, I expect that Dawn Harper will run a couple rounds and then pull out and save herself for the World Championship. So, having said that, Brianna Rollins I have in a very comfortable win at those U.S. Championships. I then have Kelly Wells in second. She got bronze at the Olympics last year. And in third, I have Queen Harrison, who of course has been better known as a 400-meter hurdler because she made the Olympic team in 2008 as a 19-year-old. But this year she has been running exceptionally well. So that's the four that I have for the United States. Brianna Rollins, Dawn Harper, Queen Harrison, and of course, Kelly Wells. Shifting over to the Jamaicans, I have no idea where the Jamaicans have disappeared to. They had the world champion in this event as recently as 2009, but you have to go way down the list to find them anywhere on the world list in 2013. I have Andrea Bliss winning for them. Now, Melaine Walker had a big fallout with her coach. She wanted to run the 100 hurdles. He wanted her to stay in the 400, an event in which she, of course, was world and Olympic champion. She got her way and switched camps. I have her in second. I also have Danielle Williams rounding out that team. She, I think, will get third. But the Jamaicans, just like they did in the men's 400, I think will be very hard pressed to not only get medals, but even to see the finals in this event. This is not an event that I think they will do particularly well in Moscow. So now that we're done with the 100 hurdles and the 110-meter hurdles, let's move now to the men's and women's 400-meter hurdles. Let's start with the U.S. women. In 2011 at the World Championships in Daegu, Lashinda Demas won the world title and in doing so also set the American record. Now, because she already has that buy into the World Championships, I don't know if we will see her, but the reality is that the U.S. will take 4. Now, 2 of my 3 picks made the Olympic team last year, but let's start first with a relative newcomer. She's the Pac-12 champion. She's the NCAA champion. She also just set the new collegiate record, Corey Carter of Stanford. She can also run the 100-meter hurdles, but this is the event at which she is better. I expect her to win regardless of whether Lashinda Demas is running or not. She is the new find in U.S. women's 400-meter hurdling. After that, I have Georgianne Moline. She made the Olympic team and also made the Olympic final. And also Tiara Brown. She also made the Olympic team and the Olympic final. So that rounds out my U.S. women's team. In terms of the Jamaican women, Khalees Spencer, she's been Diamond League champion in this event a couple times. She's also been 4th a whole bunch of times at championships. I expect her to win. Ristanana Tracy, she was a high school star in Jamaica, then went over to Usain Bolt Racers Camp. She actually has made a team before for Jamaica. I expect her to make this team here in second. And then Siobhan Stoddard, she was an Olympian for Jamaica in this event in both 2004 and 2008. She rounds out my Jamaican team. So now over to the men. It's not very often that the United States does not have either the reigning world or Olympic champion, but that's exactly the case this year. They do have Michael Tinsley, who got silver at the London Olympic Games. I have him as my pick to win at this year's U.S. National Championships. In second, I've picked Bershawn Batman Jackson. He did not make the team that went to London's Olympic Games, but I do have him rebounding and making the world team this year. In third, I have Reggie Wyatt. He's just coming off of a national championship performance at the NCAAs. Now, for the Jamaican team, I have Isa Phillips in first, Roxroy Cato in second, and LaFord Green in third. So those are my picks for all the events with starting blocks for both USA and for Jamaica. Now, I am headed to the U.S. National Championships. Of course, I'll be keeping an eye on what is going on in Kingston and their national championships. On your screen now is how you can reach us via email, Facebook, and Twitter. I assure you that next week we will be back with interviews from the U.S. National Championships, and we have some surprises planned as we also head to Europe to the Birmingham, Lausanne, and Paris Diamond League meetings. So until next time, we hope you've enjoyed this episode. See you next time on Inside Athletics.